Hey man, Andre.
Hey guys.
And today we've got two trucks in the studio, and well, this one is special, Andre, because it's it's a beautiful gold yellow.
It's nitro yellow. It's very specific color. This is my Chevy Colorado Trail Boss.
And this is our long-term Ranger Raptor. So we've got two mid-sized trucks in the studio. We're going to talk about the differences because they're both rolling on, I think 33s, right?
Well, the Raptor's on 33s. I have a slightly smaller tire. It's a 32.
You're right.
But nonetheless, they're both off-roady. They're both in their respective class, I would say, affordable. I mean, they're not outrageously priced because you have basically the king of Ford Rangers, and I don't have a king of Chevy Colorados. This is kind of a mid-grade, a little bit more simple truck.
Well, I think what we got here, Andre, are two bargain mid-sized pickup trucks, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to show you what you get for your money. But before we do all that, there's a little surprise that is hiding in the back of Andre's bed. And if you hang out until the end of this video, we're going to show you what's back there because it is quite the surprise.
It's also heavy.
It's very heavy.
It's pretty heavy.
All right, so let's start with pricing. How much did you pay for your...
So I bought this in early 2023. It was about April.
Yep.
And I paid just about $41,000 for this. If you were to buy this again now, if this was new, 2024, it'll be a little bit more expensive. I believe they're about $42,500 for one of these.
And how many miles do you have on it?
So it's funny. I've owned it for about 14 months and I have 14,000 miles. So I'm averaging 1,000 a month.
Yeah, you're putting a lot of miles on this, relatively, because of the fact that you could drive any truck you want.
Well, that's the thing. I usually drive loan vehicles or test vehicles. So the fact that I have 1,000 miles a month is a testament that I drive this quite a bit.
Well, let's show them what's under the hood. You want to pop it open?
Yeah. It's a turbo.
Andre, you have a bullet casing. Look what I found.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. Sorry. What have you been shooting, dude?
Nothing.
Looks like a 22.
I think, haven't you been shooting prairie dogs or something?
Well, no, we don't shoot prairie dogs. No, but why would this bullet casing be in your...
I think I was clearing... Dude, I've never seen this before. No, seriously.
I don't know.
I don't own
a gun.
A gun.
Somebody was shooting.
Maybe somebody just threw it on me as I was passing by.
I just noticed it. Anyway, an interesting story here is the powertrain, because when this truck first came out, GM decided to sell it with different horsepower ratings, which turned out not to be such a good idea. You want to tell them about that?
Yeah, so this is a 2.7 liter straight 4 turbo, and they had a work truck version of it with quite a bit lower horsepower and torque rating, and they still have that to this day. Then they had the mid-grade, which is the one I bought, and then they had the high output version. And then after I bought this, I actually upgraded my engine at the dealership from mid-grade to high output, and now mid-grade is no more. They canceled it.
Did you have to pay for that?
Yes, I paid, it was $400 plus installation, and unfortunately, the dealer charged me like $100 to install a tune, which is not much to it, right? You plug it in the computer and you actually just tune it.
And did you feel a difference when you went from the...
Not a huge amount of difference.
So did you feel like that $500 was well spent, or?
No.
No, okay,
no.
Well, there you go.
And now most of these have high output engines anyway, so most of owners of these Chevy or GMC midsize trucks now have this high output engine, which is 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque, which is a lot of torque, actually.
It is a lot of torque. And how many speeds in the transmission?
8.
8.
So,
which is a good amount.
Yeah. And it's dirty. We use the truck. I take it camping. I towed my boat to the lake recently, just a couple of weeks ago.
Now I know you had one major issue with it that took like 5 months to resolve.
Yeah.
What was that?
It was my malfunctioning rear camera.
Didn't work at all.
No. So it worked when I bought the truck. It worked for several months. Then it stopped working. And it was a hard problem to trace, but can I show you?
Yeah, let's go look. Yeah.
It's working. Let me see.
How do they end up fixing it? Because I know, it was at the dealership for weeks on end.
Well, I had to go several times.
Yeah.
Let me see if I probably need to start it. So that's accessory mode. I'll just do it very quickly. Hey, look, I have a camera. So in the end, so they replaced the rear camera, and then they traced the issues, and it turned out to be the cable. The cable that connects the camera to the head unit had to be replaced, and it was not easy to trace or to find. Now it's available. Now I have it.
There's something, before you show what's in the bed of this truck, why don't we show them something else that's cool, and that is our friends and our sponsors
WaySafe
have given us these two cool off-road accessories that you could put into your hitch receiver.
And I'm really excited by this because this is really high quality stuff. So I have it on my truck here. It's a soft shackle, basically a recovery point for your hitch. So you have something like this, and you can attach a rope to this, to something else. And then you have basically an aluminum soft shackle, which is actually very lightweight. Let me unlock it. And you have something else that they have as well on the Ranger, right?
Yeah, and the nice thing about the lock is no one's going to steal it, because how much do these things cost? They're like $100 bucks,
This is
right?
$100 approximately.
Yeah.
But look at this, dude. Really high quality and light.
Oh yeah, super light. Like I wouldn't be afraid of dropping this on my toe as much as I would a traditional one.
And look at this. They're all rated and tested. This is rated to up to 40,000 pounds pulling strength or braking strength.
Wow.
So you can actually, trying to recover somebody. And
If only your truck were rated to 40,000 pounds.
It's not.
And then the other one that WaySafe sent us is right here, and this is more of a traditional off-road receiver. Now, the Ranger Raptor has recovery points there and there, so you don't necessarily need this, but a lot of trucks, they're hard to find, or they're muddy and dirty, and so this is a nice solution to that.
Yeah, I don't have these Raptor points, which are very nice.
Yeah.
And also, this is very lightweight and also capable of carrying a lot of load, and it's also aluminum, so that's why they're lightweight.
So we just took this up a very difficult trail, and we did our first, come on over here, I'll show you, we did our first bits of trail damage. We took it up Heartbreak Hill at Kelly Flats.
Yeah.
And look what we did, Andre. We did a little bit of
Scrape there.
scrape there.
Ooh, what about the step?
We did the step there, and more importantly, we did the step there. So we actually took off the rhino lining, which means it'll start to rust, unfortunately. And then we did the wheel there as well. That was a 9 out of 10 on Onyx, Andre. 9 out of 10. It was so
on
hard.
Onyx off-road.
It was harder than Cliffhanger 2.0, which is what we used to kind of do before we got worried about rolling a truck. So that video is coming. It'll be at all TFL, I think, soon, probably this weekend. But yeah, that was quite the, I'm going to call it butt clench hill, because it was terrifying. Let's show them what's under the hood of this.
And also what we paid for this, because this is the top of the line Ranger, because it's the most off-road capable model. It's also the most powerful model. We paid just over $57,000 for this.
Which I think is a bargain when you compare it to
to everything else.
like a Tacoma TRD Pro or a Trail Hunter.
Which are in their 60s.
Or like the AEV version of your truck, which is probably going to be also in its 60s at least, if not the 70s.
So this is under 60. This is 57.
And here you'll find the same powertrain that's in the Raptor Ranger, which is what, Andre?
The Bronco Raptor as
sorry,
well.
Bronco.
Twin turbo 3-liter V6, 405 horsepower in this case, and same torque as in my little Chevy, 430 pound-feet of torque. But notice, the Chevy has some, beauty covers for the engine. Ford doesn't do that.
Yeah, but it's up here.
Yeah, they also have the sound deadening up here. So
and then a 10-speed transmission, so 2 more.
yeah, Ford really likes their 10 speeds. Actually, I think it's a great transmission.
It is a good transmission.
Quick shifting. That's one of my complaints about the Chevy, is that sometimes I feel like the transmission in the Chevy is a little bit sluggish to shift gears, a little bit. Oops, I didn't
quite get it. There you go.
There.
And then you got these fake, which look good, but they don't do anything.
Little vents.
Yeah, if you were looking, actually, the exhaust, the intake is over here. I believe that's where it grabs air. And then, of course, this being the Ranger Raptor, you've got recovery points in the front. You've got underbody cladding, but you've got most of that as well.
I have recovery points in the front too. They're hidden. I do have a chin spoiler. Sorry, it's got a little bit of bug juice on it right now. I've been driving it.
But wheel-wise, we're looking at 33s versus 32s. We're also looking at active suspension, Fox
versus basic suspension.
versus basic suspension. And,
Yeah.
and let's show them the interior, because I think the interior is a little bit nicer than yours. It's got
Oh, yeah.
color, and it's got, a lot more kind of, let me turn this on here. It's got a lot more. There you go.
Yeah, really comfy seats, I think, in the Ranger.
Yeah, bigger screen, more toys to play with from the off-road perspective. So do you have you don't have 4 auto, right? You probably only have, or
I
do.
do.
You
I
do have 4 auto.
So for a cheapish truck,
That's
I do
nice to have.
I do have automatic 4-wheel drive, which means it acts like all-wheel drive.
But you don't have a front locker.
Or a rear locker. I have a G80 mechanical locker in the rear,
yeah.
but I don't have selectable lockers like you have here.
Well, how about like stuff like heated seats? Do you have those?
No.
Heated steering wheel?
No.
Okay.
Do we have some questions? I guess I could grab a laptop. We can also try to, not quite yet.
That's okay. We'll get to the questions as they come along. And then in terms of space in the back, do you think that this has more space or less space? So you're 6'3". Do you want to try sitting in the back of this one and compare it to the back of yours?
Sure.
So let's see how the Ranger, and this would be the same for any Ranger.
Well, actually, these seats, the Ranger Raptor seats, are a little bit more bulky. Let me see how this is. Wow, this is all the way back. So let me move it a little bit more reasonably. So I think that's pretty comfortable here.
Okay.
And then
Let's see how you do in the back.
let me see, get in the back. They are scalloped, but my knees are hitting the seat. So my head clears just so my hair is touching.
Hey, Duncan's asking, should I buy a 3rd Gen 4Runner or an Xterra?
3rd Gen 4Runner or Xterra. You know what I could go for is an Xterra Pro 4X manual. Those are really rare, hard to find, but I think if you can find one, that would be a really cool piece of machinery, I would say.
Somebody just said that the Gladiator has the largest space in the back. I'm not sure about that.
Well, it has a lot of headroom, right? Because of that taller roof and also removable roof it has.
It's just way more leg room than most. Did Chevy fix your backup camera? Yeah, well, we just went through that.
Yeah,
you came in
so
late, we did.
my backup camera is fully fixed, and that was one of my major issues that I had. If you remember, my truck drained its battery. Remember that? During a software update. But that issue has been resolved, and it's been working really, really trouble-free since then.
All right, so jump in the back of yours and see how much room you have.
Okay, let me see.
We'll compare it to the Ranger.
Sorry, I have a little bit of junk in the back here.
Well, it looks like less leg room.
Different seating position.
Yeah.
Once again, my knees are touching and my hair is touching, but I feel like I'm elevated, like I'm looking over the front seats.
People are asking, did you decide what your next truck's going to be?
I want to go up in size. I want to go full-size truck. And I want something fresh or brand new or new generation. So I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, somebody says, just make sure you get cruise control. Here's another great question. I have about a 45K budget. I do off-roading at times for camping, sometimes overlanding. I like the Honda Passport Trail Sport for 45K. Is it hard to get something like a GMC Canyon 4 AT4? Thoughts? So he likes the Ridgeline, but 45 ain't going to get you the off-road.
But they'll get you this.
It'll get you that, yeah. So look,
I think this is a great choice.
I've driven this a lot, and I'll have to say I love this truck. I think
other than the color.
I like the color. I was giving you a hard time at the beginning of this video. I don't mind the color. I think it's cool. I like unusual things. What I like about this is it's, in typical GM fashion, you don't get a lot of the bells and whistles like cruise control, but that was just, you wanted to be first, so that was just kind of a mistake that you made, but you can get cruise control. But I think for 41, you're going to get about as much off-road goodness.
And also capability, too.
And capability.
1,500 pounds of payload, 7,700 pounds of towing. You're getting a lot of good benefits from it.
Yeah, so I think both of these trucks, in some ways, represent the mid-size truck bargains.
Value, lots of value.
Yeah, lots of value. So, like, if you were to compare, let's go back to the Ranger Raptor. If you were to compare this to a TRD Pro Tacoma, right?
Yeah.
TRD Pro Tacoma.
65,000.
Fox shocks, but you got to manually adjust them.
Yes.
In there, you just go bloop, bloop.
This is live adjustable.
Tacoma, TRD Pro also is a hybrid, which this isn't, but the fuel economy isn't all that grand. I mean, I'm getting like 22-ish on the highway, maybe like 18 combined, I'm sorry, 18 in the city, so it's not particularly grand, but it's also not particularly awful.
Hybrid Tacoma, we'll have to test still.
Yeah.
We haven't really, but it should be a little bit better in the city than that, right? But on the highway, all these trucks kind of do the same thing.
Yep.
In fact, it's not really good. I'm under 20 for the lifetime of my truck, under 20 mpg.
Well, we could see
So,
what.
it should be.
Let's look what I'm getting.
Okay.
Let's just
I'm
start up.
just under 20.
Hold on. All right, let's see what this one's doing. You start it up here.
Sorry, somebody's commenting about my facial hair. Thank you. Hold on.
Well, it doesn't tell me.
Come on.
Tommy just, oh, there you go.
20.6.
20.6 combined. That's not
Dude,
horrible.
that's actually good for this lifted truck.
Yeah, that's not actually bad. Yeah. I mean, that's really
You know
good.
what's frightening? That's better average than my truck.
And more horsepower.
And more horsepower and slightly larger tires.
Plus, look, you also get you get this fat steering wheel, right? You get Qi wireless charging over here. You actually get a bigger screen with real controls for HVAC. Cole, come on in here. I'll show you something else you get. And you know this is serious off-roading when you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 auxiliary switches.
I have 0 auxiliary switches.
Exactly. And
Zero.
And then, of course, you get terrain management over here,
Yeah.
and you can go 2 high, 4 auto, 4 high, and 4 low, which is nice.
I have the same transfer case capability. But you know what I don't like about the Ranger Raptor is that the locker selection is digital.
It's in the screen. Yeah. So
and when you're stuck or in tough situations off-road, you need
We've done 9,000 miles.
it's talking to you.
I don't know what the heck that was. I think it connected maybe to Tommy's phone.
Okay.
I see iPhone 86.
Let's open the
Let's
door.
open it and get out of here so it doesn't connect to a phone. But there are some really cool things. Paddle shifters, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, the big Raptor there, so you know you've got...
Are there other comments? Or? Yeah.
What do you got? What do you got?
Appreciate the thoughts. I'm off-road about 10 to 20% of the time, depending on the season. I'm getting married next year. We plan to have kids. Should swing a mid-size truck or not?
Yeah, I think with young kids, you're absolutely fine. I mean, you've been putting your let's call them exceptionally large kids because your daughter
I have tall children.
and you've been putting it back to this now for a year and a half.
No, but wait a minute, Rowan.
Yeah?
Do you remember car seats?
I remember car seats.
Rear-facing car seats are big.
Yes, they are.
So if you have a new child on the way, you may need the full size because when you put a rear-facing car seat, it needs more space in the back. So you have to consider that. Maybe test a car seat in the truck before you buy it.
You know, I think the answer, or maybe the way you figure that out is if you're 6'3" like Andre and you have that seat way back, you're probably not going to have a lot of room for a rear-facing car seat.
Which is why I think my next truck next year, it probably won't be this year, but next year it's going to be a full-size truck. I need more space. I want more space.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I think once you're 6'3" and your family is big, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, and going camping, I want to stretch out. You know, I don't want to be cramped. Yeah.
But having said that, I like the fact that these are much easier to live with on a daily basis. Easier to park, easier to fit in your garage. I mean, a full-size truck, you're looking at 17 feet of length.
Or more.
Or more.
Yeah.
And that doesn't fit in a lot of people's garages. But let's go back to this theme we've had in terms of kind of bargain versus bargain, right? The problem, of course, has been that trucks have gotten so crazy expensive. And, you know, the average new car price now is about $47,000. So here, you know, you're substantially...
We're under that.
You're under that, and you're getting all the off-road goodness. And of course here, you're about 10K over that. But still...
And getting a lot of goodness.
You're getting a lot of crazy capability.
Yeah.
And, you know, they both represent something that I think is good in the truck world as opposed to like crazy expensive.
In fact, sorry, we'll get to more comments and questions in a second. I would have bought this in a heartbeat.
Would you?
From you.
Yeah.
Except 5,500 pounds of towing, and my boat is a little bit heavier than that.
Yeah, that's a limiter.
So I mean, if you don't have heavier trailers, I think this is fun. It's a little bit under radar. A lot of people don't recognize it as something truly special. So it's a little bit stealthy.
It's got the big Raptor on the side.
But they don't see it for some reason.
Yeah.
People don't see it.
I think that's because it doesn't like scream,
It looks like a Ranger.
It looks like a Ranger, yeah.
Looks like a Ranger.
All right, you want to read some more questions, Andre?
I don't know which ones we have.
Okay, let's answer some questions you guys might have.
Most dealers are giving discounts. That's very true.
And these are selling above sticker.
Yeah, this is not, you're not going to find discounts on this yet because this is still desirable and there's not many of these. These you could probably find discounts on now.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of Chevys. Both of them are made in the US. This is Michigan, this is Wentzville. Is it Iowa? Wentzville, Iowa?
So if that's a big decision making for you. And in terms of, except for the backup camera, Andre, have you had some issues? Now, we have had issues with this. And the biggest issue we've had is that our screen sometimes takes a long time to come on.
Yeah.
I mean, you could wait like 2, 3, 4 minutes before it comes on.
Or it feels like that, I guess.
No, I've
You start driving?
Yeah, you start driving and then finally it comes on. And then the other issue I've had is sometimes it'll hook up to CarPlay and sometimes it'll hook up to CarPlay but you get no sound. Sometimes it doesn't hook up to CarPlay. It feels like Ford has not got that integration bulletproof. With the Tesla Cybertruck that we have, that hooks up every time. I mean, I just open the door and it's already playing my podcast here. I'm kind of screwing around trying to get it to actually work.
And the crazy part is Cybertruck doesn't have Apple CarPlay. It has a different type of integration.
And it works, yeah. All right, you want to read some more questions, Andre? Let's see what else we got.
Yeah, you could say it. Is the Ranger body aluminum like the F-150? No, a lot of body panels are not aluminum. So the F-150s and the Super Duties are aluminum beds, aluminum cabs. I think the hood on this is aluminum because I had trouble closing it because it's so light, right? It was kind of bouncing. But some of the components are steel.
And here's the crazy thing, the Ranger, I think that's why it's a little cheaper, actually hit Europe and Australia before it came to America. The Ranger Raptor, and the Ranger as well. So they both.
Yeah, they did.
And so to me, this truck feels a little bit more, dare I say, like a European.
A little bit European,
a little bit more
or
subdued,
Australian.
Or Australian, a little bit more like subdued, right? Whereas the regular Raptor is just like, we're going to throw the kitchen sink at it in terms of styling, in terms of performance. This is a little bit more subdued.
And this still has a lot of payload capacity, almost 1,400 pounds.
That's a lot.
Which is a lot for a midsize. This is a little bit more, but it has fewer pieces of equipment.
Right,
I put this on it, but they're never big enough. I always feel like I'm throwing rocks.
You know, there are countries where you have to have those.
Yeah, probably European countries.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about payload on yours because let's show them what you got in the back because you're hiding something pretty cool.
Let me move this.
Under the tannout cover, and we'll surprise them with what's in there. Now, for those of you guys who have been following TFL for a while, you know that Andre has a very special vehicle that he lovingly is now
storing
at the ranch.
At your ranch.
But is trying to make it a little more American. We're talking, of course, about the Buhanka.
Okay. We're talking about the Soviet van, UAZ or UAZ. So this says 4 low, neutral, 2 high, 4 high. This is a shifter for a transfer case. These are dipsticks.
Okay.
I've got, hold on a second, I've got parts. I've got things. I've got hooks. Let me open
this. The coolest
this.
thing is what's hiding under there. You can kind of see a little bit of it.
So, you guys know David, right? He's been part of our kind of channels for quite some time. He helped us with the ranch.
Our yak farmer.
Happy Yak Ranch, David. So David and I are planning to do a little bit of work, and I picked up this.
It looks like a transmission, Andre.
And a transfer case.
Okay.
So this is more GM parts.
So you're gonna swap this out for what's in here?
No.
Or you put it in the Ranger?
No.
What are you gonna do with that?
This is going into the Buhanka.
Oh.
So David has already procured from one of his friends basically an LS V8. It's a smaller V8 because the Buhanka is not a very big vehicle. So it's a 4.8 liter. This is a 3-speed automated transmission, but it does not need electronic controls. And an NP205 gear-driven transfer case, my friends. So all of that should be going into the Buhanka.
So you're building a hybrid buhanka. And
Yes.
by hybrid, I mean hybrid Russian/American.
Russian-American, kind of like me.
Yes. Well, I can't wait to see how terrifying that'll be to drive, because putting a small block Chevy 350 in a truck that
Well, it's a little smaller than that, yeah.
in a truck that was designed for a 4-cylinder diesel is going to be quite the experience, Andre.
So I think we're probably at least doubling the horsepower.
Okay, yeah, at least.
But I don't want to like supercharge it. I don't want to go crazy. I just want to have a drivetrain that can take me on the roads and off-road.
Well, there's the big surprise that Andre has hidden in his bed of his
So I always have
Trail
more
Boss.
GM parts.
Yeah, yeah. So let's wrap this up. We've been going about 25 minutes now.
Okay.
I think, Andre, that both of these trucks are actually really good buys. So, if you're out there like lusting for a Raptor or a TRX, which we've owned, or a Raptor R, which we've also owned, I actually, God's truth, would rather have this than either a Raptor
Than those
R
big trucks?
or a TRX, yeah, because let's face it, it's a lot less ostentatious. It actually gets real fuel economy. It's probably better off-road because it's got front and rear lockers, adjustable suspension, and it's narrow and it fits in places that.
And it's fun too.
And it's fun. You can
It's
change
fun.
the exhaust note.
Yeah.
You could change the way it shifts. You can just have a hoot with it without like worrying about having a $110,000 truck. And I would get this as a daily over any of those trucks, and that includes the Cybertruck or the Hummer EV that we've had. I just really have fallen in love with this thing. It's kind of the Goldilocks of the performance trucks, if you don't need all the room of a full-size truck or the towing ability.
And I love the simplicity of this. I mean, I'm using air quotes because this is still 8-speed automatic. It's still got a turbocharger, but it's a little bit more simple. I'm not in love with the noise that this powertrain makes. It's a 4-banger, right? So it's never, I think, will
They're
sound.
both not they're both not TRX or Raptor RE.
Although I think the Ford did a good job with their exhaust note on
It's
the
a little
Ranger.
flatulent. There's a little bit of
This
burpiness to it.
This is a little bit more like a vacuum hair
Well,
dryer.
here, I'll start it up. Why don't you get your mic and you can let them listen to it. I'll change the modes. So hopefully we won't die of carbon monoxide poisoning, but let me change the modes and you can listen to it. All right, so that's just regular, Andre. All right, I'm going into sport. Okay. And now I'm going to go to Baja. And now I'm going to go to quiet.
I could tell a difference. In the sport or Baja modes, you can hear a little bit more deeper, kind of a growl, and in the quiet mode, there are valves in the exhaust system basically.
That open up, yeah.
It closes or opens a little bit, so changes.
So we have a neighbor that doesn't like when we do that in the office, and we get phone calls and what's going on. That's not going to get a phone call.
No.
If they're with TRX, you get a phone call.
When you start a Mustang GT,
Get a phone
that
call.
gets phone calls immediately.
Yeah. So outside of that, I really love this truck. And if you guys, are looking for, a relative bargain in a performance truck, and you can live with the midsize truck, I would highly, highly recommend this. And we haven't fixed the screen, but we can take it in. How about you? Would you recommend your truck?
I think so, especially for the price.
Yeah.
I think I'd definitely recommend it. I wish the transmission was a little bit snappier, kind of like maybe Ford, the way it shifts. But in general, I mean, I did have a couple of, I would say minor problems because I was always able to drive this truck. So the camera problem and the battery drain problem that were taken care of were, I would say, minor things. It's been pretty solid.
And guys, we're planning on doing some really fun reviews because at the end of this month, we're getting, I believe, the Toyota Tacoma Trail Hunter.
Yes.
Which is, one of the new top-of-the-line vehicles. Poor Cole, he's moving his arm, he's getting tired. So we're going to wrap it up with that. So stay tuned. We're going to be doing a lot of comparisons between the Ranger Raptor and the Trail Hunter. And Cole, any last questions before we say goodbye? I'll read them.
You were on street versions of these trucks.
Street versions of
Not
these trucks.
really, no.
No.
You know the video I want to see, Roman?
Yeah.
Cole, can you pan really quick? I want to see 1931 versus 2024 Ford.
Yeah, I think that's a video we'll have to make. Because under the hood, they're very different. And if you guys have been watching Classics, you know that we just bought this beautiful truck in TFL colors.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be doing videos with this. Hold on. Listen, hold on, here we go. Okay, it's not on. I guess that horn is electric, so never mind. I was gonna do the Ooga horn.
It was gonna blow my.
Ooga! Does that count?
We're gonna get phone calls, Roman.
Yeah, that's a good thing. All right, guys. Last question, Andre, we'll call this quits.
Let's see. 4.8 is a great engine. Thank you for. Well, stay tuned. There'll be more about the Buhanka. And also a couple more news that are coming, right?
Yeah.
So I think some people are wondering about other new models that are coming. So we know that Jeep said there's going to be a plug-in hybrid Gladiator.
Yep.
So that's coming next year or within the next few months. There's also updated Maverick should be coming.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be plug-in hybrid all-wheel drive. Yeah.
So we don't have all the details yet officially, but updated Maverick should be coming. Updated Ram heavy-duty truck should be coming, which we just did a story on.
The new Cummins.
The new Cummins and the new transmission.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. I think there's still a lot of excitement in the truck world still coming.
Yeah, more so than in the car world right now. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Remember, if you want one of these T-shirts, head on over to click down.
TFL stuff?
Yeah, our brand new T-shirts. I like the one you were wearing the other day, which is gas is better than diesel.
Or diesel is better than gas.
I think Lacey's been at this thing, dude. Look at that.
He's been laying down on you.
I've been laying down on him, I think. Yeah, he's such a curly, cuddly dog. And then, go to all TFL if you want to be up on all the latest and greatest. We shall see you next time. Ciao.
Thank you.